Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the happiest hour on earth. We just want to say thank you so much for all the love we received during our last episode, which was our 100th episode celebration. We just got such an influx of love and support from all of you guys, and we couldn't thank you enough. So thank you so much for all of that. And we are back this week with episode 101, and we're going to be talking about an interesting subject. We recently saw the Splash Mountain log get demolished, which, you know, in a way is such a iconic piece of Disney history. And just when you think about the mountains, you know, you think of that log structure, and to see it gone was just very weird, very strange to see. And I think we all knew that the ride was going to be changing at some point, but to see the log gone, that really kind of threw us into this episode idea, which is about Disney attractions that could be on the chopping block. So, you know, we think of some attractions that, you know, Disney can never change. They can't change that, but, you know, maybe they could. So we're going to talk about some that are maybe on thin ice and Disney could retheme or demolish and build something new. So we're really excited to jump into this episode. So let's go ahead and get this episode started.
All right, so as we jump into this episode, we had asked the question over on Instagram to all of our followers and listeners as to what they thought some attractions might be that could be going away in the distant or not too distant future. Yeah. So we got a lot of responses, and a lot of the responses were similar to what we had on our list as well. So we kind of just have a good solid list compiled here of what you guys and what we possibly think could be up there on the chopping block for Disney. So
for sure.
I mean, who knows? This is all kind of hypothetical. Some of it I feel like has been talked about a little bit in the Disney world, but I don't know. We'll see.
This will be a great episode to listen back to, like in 5 years, and see like
what was right and what wasn't.
True. Oh man, it's crazy.
Yeah.
And these aren't in any particular order, so we're just there's gonna be some Disneyland, some Disney World, and it's just gonna be exciting and crazy and maybe sad.
Yeah. I know some of them are kind of. It's like, oh, that would be very, very tough. I mean, just kind of like Splash, just kind of iconic ones. That's like. And they could do it though, you know, if they did it to Splash, it could happen to just about anything.
Nothing's safe.
Nothing's safe.
I think the only thing that is safe is the castle.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, I mean, okay, I guess more. I think safe rides. Let's talk about safe rides. Pirates, Haunted Mansion, Thunder, Space.
Any of the other mountains, I guess.
Yeah. Is there anything else besides? I think Jungle Cruise.
Changing Indiana Jones.
Wait, you could or you can't?
I couldn't.
Really? Okay,
I don't think so. It's such a favorite.
It is such a favorite, yeah.
And Jungle
so I
Cruise,
think Jungle Cruise, that's an opening day attraction, but I think that kind of covers it. And then some Fantasyland rides as well. Although we are going to start with a Fantasyland ride. So let's go ahead and jump in. Do you want to get this one?
Yeah. So we were thinking, and also got responses from @FamTravelFolio and @Jordan the Swan on Instagram, that Pinocchio's Daring Journey could be on that list of possible bye-byes.
Yeah.
So it is kind of a classic if you're looking at Disney films and rides within the park, but it's not an opening day attraction. It was 1983 that the ride opened. So it's actually
30 years after. Sorry, not 30 years. Almost 30 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's 7.
Yeah, just about 30 years. So
it was during the Fantasyland refurb that happened, I believe, under Tony Baxter's watch. Yeah, because Fantasyland, I didn't like the original look of Fantasyland. I mean, I think the refurb that happened in the 80s, you get more of like a town like Strasbourg, France feel, like we talked about last week. That just kind of makes it feel so Fantasyland. And it was during that time that they added Pinocchio. So
yeah. So, I mean, That is so weird to think that it wasn't there like early on. For some reason in my mind, I just always think it's been there forever. But Walt wasn't even around at the time that it opened. That's so crazy.
Crazy.
So yeah, I could definitely see that being one that goes. If we're talking within Fantasyland, I mean, Snow White was the first Disney movie ever. I don't think they'll ever get rid of it.
Yeah.
Peter Pan is a favorite.
That's an opening day too.
And opening day. Alice is a fantastic ride. I feel like Pinocchio is the only one. Oh, and Mr. Toad.
We have Mr. Toad, which we may or may not
be talking about soon as well.
So hang in there.
So yeah, I could see Pinocchio being kind of one that's like, I don't know how many people's like favorite it is, and I could see eventually it being switched out for something that's a little bit more relevant. Maybe Frozen, maybe Beauty and the Beast. I don't know, like one of the other kind of favorites.
Yeah. So that is one of the rides that did not get a refurb. Remember when Snow White more recently got a crazy refurb, which looks amazing.
And I love it.
Peter Pan got a refurb with Alice, and is that it?
I think so.
Yeah, so those two. So I'm like, maybe they aren't investing money into it because they might change it in the future. So this one seems like a possibility. I would love to get like a Frozen or Tangled. The only thing is that it doesn't seem that big. So I'm like,
yeah, that's
I
true.
wonder if they would have to.
I mean, you know what? I think that there's a lot more space in there than you realize necessarily.
Yeah.
I mean, you go through a lot of rooms.
Yeah.
And I feel like they could do a lot with the space, possibly. I don't know. Maybe. I mean,
it'd be cool to get like a new story with new animatronics, but still have that very old classic dark ride single track, because everyone's doing like the trackless ride system, which we love, but to have that kind of like almost jerky single track,
because it's so nostalgic. And like, even though it's not my favorite ride in Fantasyland by any means, there's something that I do love about it. Like we go through like, Geppetto's workshop and just all those little
and then
scenes.
it gets just super
then
scary.
It's weird. Yeah, I love the beginning and the end of it. That's pretty much the portions that are good in my opinion. But to have another one there that was like kind of a similar feel would be cool.
Actually, Beauty and the Beast would be awesome because it's right next to Red Rose Tavern, right? Isn't it right next to it? Is it adjacent? Yeah. So that'd be cool. I would love to see.
It used to be Village House, which was related
which was
Pinocchio.
Oh, okay. Oh, maybe that's like a little sign.
What do they call it? Like a Easter egg?
Yeah. Oh man. Okay, that'd be cool.
That would be cool.
Yeah, great little suggestions there. Fam Travel Folio and Jordan the Swan. I definitely think that could be done in the next
possibility
future. Yeah, couple years. So the next one is Autopia, and we had a listener all day, all Disney also hit us up about this one, and so I think a lot of people want to just say Autopia. I think I'm conflicted too because it is an opening day attraction as well, and there's not many of those left.
I know, and it's so hard to think of it not being there anymore.
Yeah,
like even though it means a lot more to us now because we've been able to take our son on it, and he's just all about cars and trucks, and it was like so special getting to take him on that.
Yeah.
And we never really used to before that.
Yeah,
so
I did when I was a kid, and I was, it was awesome because I couldn't go kart yet. Yeah, I was such a young kid, but yeah.
Yeah, but as we got older, it kind of became one that we didn't really put time into, like, in our day.
Yeah,
But it is so weird to think of it not being there. So.
It is, yeah.
But I do feel like it's inevitable at some point.
I think it's either going to get electric cars and be very futuristic, or it could be gone. I think one thing I could see happening is that they don't want to get rid of it because it's an opening day attraction, but they'll cut the track shorter. So that way they still have it. They reroute the track, make it a lot shorter, and then they're able to utilize some space. Like that's a lot of construction, but I think I would prefer that. So you still keep an opening day attraction, make it shorter, and then you have more space because it does take up a lot of space. So that's my vote. And I hope they do something like that.
Yeah.
I feel like that'd be cool.
Yeah, that could be cool. I don't know.
But I don't know. What are your thoughts? Do you just want it gone completely?
No,
or?
I don't want it gone completely. it's just
Cutting it
hard
short
to
will be
know
sad.
what they would put there with that space. Because it's like, it's a big amount of space, but I feel like the thought that always comes to our mind is Tron. Because it's, it's being placed elsewhere in the Disney parks. But I don't think that they could do that if only Autopia was removed. So
It's like, yeah, it would either have to be Autopia and like Innoventions or Autopia and the subs.
yeah.
So it depends on like what part of the track, like if you do make it shorter,
yeah.
like if you do the Innoventions, then you have to cut like the entry, like on ramp. But if you do the subs, then you could cut like that kind of section out. So that's tough. I'm sure they're talking about this. I'm sure
That's a lot
they have
of
talked
work.
about this. Yeah.
If they were
and
gonna
they're
do
trying to
that.
figure out what to do. Yeah. Oof, that's tough.
So I think it's possible, but I don't know when or how they would go about it.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's crazy. The next one we're staying in Tomorrowland. You want to get this one?
Apparently Tomorrowland needs a lot of work.
I know,
I think
yeah.
we all know that at this point. But Star Tours is another one that was mentioned by at Rox Lehman and at Jordan the Swan again. So I agree with this because I feel like at this point, Star Tours being in Tomorrowland makes no sense because there's an entire land dedicated to Star Wars. And it's really just redundant. It just makes no sense there anymore. It's a great ride. I love
I know.
it.
I honestly like it more than Smuggler's Run.
And I
which is
haven't been on
sad.
Smuggler's Run, but from what I've heard, it sounds like it's better to me too. There's more variety in where you're going and just
Yeah.
kind of how the ride goes. So I wish that they could just switch out
there.
Smuggler's Run and put Star Tours there.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't think that's going to happen. So
It'd be cool if they could move Star Tours to Galaxy's Edge because then it's like, you could be entering almost like a airport terminal, to visit other parts of the galaxy and then come back onto Batuu. But yeah, I think that would be the most ideal situation, but I don't think there's really a way to do that. And obviously they aren't going to get rid of Smuggler's Run. So
yeah,
I could see Star Tours leaving, which would be really sad.
it
'cause
has
it's
to
been
be
there
on
for
their
such a long
mind.
time.
Like I would think that they're realizing like there's certain rides that don't make sense where they are now because of other things being built. I feel the same way about Monsters
In Hollywood.
ride. Yeah, in Hollywood, since there's a whole Pixar area. It's like they just didn't really think things through, I feel like, in terms of placement of things, unless the plan has always been to just get rid of, certain rides down the road.
Yeah. It's hard because it's like, I don't know. Because Pixar Pier, is its own thing, but then they're just like, hopefully no one thinks about Monsters Inc. But they did get rid of Bugs Land.
Yeah.
And then everything Pixar is there except for Monsters. So it's
weird.
really tough. But Star Tours, I could see that. I could see that maybe happening.
Yeah.
That's definitely, I think, on thin ice as well. But next up, and before we
Jumping
come
over
back to Tomorrowland, so we're doing a quick detour, so it's not too much Tomorrowland, but this wasn't actually on our list, but we did get the suggestion from at Live Learn Dream Magic, and she said Dinoland USA, and I think that's definitely going to happen very soon. Especially like the whole like carnival part of it. I know there's what is it called, like Chester's little fun part. I don't know what it is, but I know some people must love it. I know the idea behind it is very kind of cool and out there, but most people who walk in there don't know what's going on, and
it's a little obscure if you haven't been going there forever and like just have loved it all along.
Disney lore,
Like for me, I was kind of like,
We didn't go on any rides there. We're like, hey, let's go. We don't need to be at the fair.
Yeah, exactly. So I could see that being switched out
Yeah.
eventually. I think it'll probably upset.
I think it'll happen in
amount
the
of
next
people.
5 years that we'll get news about it, because at D23 they did mention a possibility of Moana coming to Animal Kingdom.
That's right.
And I would just assume that it would probably take over that area. So if I know Moana is not really animal, but it does have to do with the environment in a way, just like Avatar, Pandora. So I could see that happening. Yeah. And I think I would definitely take Moana over Dinoland USA. I know we're getting it in Epcot, but come on, like a ride, it's just a walkthrough thing at Epcot.
Yeah.
But a ride, a Moana ride, come on. Oh my gosh, a Moana ride in the style. We just did a reel about international Disney parks, but a Moana ride in the style of the Pirates of the Caribbean Shanghai. So you get that amazing, especially when you go down to like Tamatoa, right? His little area, you could totally do those like visual effects on the screens to go down there, come back up.
Oh, that would be so cool.
Oh my gosh. Okay, that's the ride right there.
That's it. You got it.
And you're on water. Okay. Bam.
Disney.
Bam.
You've got yourselves an Imagineer. Yeah. What are you doing?
I know. I just come up with ideas and then I have no idea how to execute them. Just do this. And then they're like, that's impossible. No, just do it.
I'm pretty sure you can figure it out.
Okay. That's like my favorite idea. I love that.
It would be sick.
Battle of the Sunken Treasure idea. Okay.
I love it.
Perfect. So let's change that in the next 5 years.
That's what's going in place of Dinoland.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
We're jumping
back
to
Tomorrowland.
Oh, this is actually good for you because you do not like this ride at all.
I'm highly in favor of this idea. And at Jordan Swan once again sent this suggestion in that Astro Blasters, Buzz Lightyear Astro Blasters, might be on its way out. I personally have just never been a huge fan of it, and I know that there's a lot of people that are. I'm very sorry. I hope that doesn't make you hate me. But it all lies in the fact that I'm just not good at it. And
I was gonna say that, like, when you're not good at something, you hate it. Just kidding. Not you, but just in general. Yeah, if people aren't good at it, you're like, yeah.
It's just, to me, it's less exciting than Midway Mania, which is another Toy Story ride. I just feel like there's so much more going on with Midway Mania.
It's fast paced.
Fun, yeah, like you're swinging around. It's like, I don't know. There's like such different stuff on each screen. It's something new, which I just think is way more fun. So to me, Astro Blasters just, it's gotta go because they're similar rides. They're the same. They're from the same movie, but once again, it's not in Pixar Pier area, and it's in Disneyland, Tomorrowland. Like, we all know it. Everything in Tomorrowland just kind of needs a revamp. Star Tours now doesn't make sense there. Astro Blasters doesn't make sense there. There's a lot that just needs to be changed.
Yeah, totally. And you know what's so weird? As you were talking about it, I remember Midway Mania was the new arcade style Toy Story game / ride. But then we just did a reel recently of like milestones that Disney rides are hitting. And Midway Mania is 15 years old. 15 years old. How is that possible?
That is hard.
Which means Buzz Lightyear, Astro Blasters is even older than that. And that's just absolutely crazy.
A bit, I'm sure.
Yeah. Okay. We're doing the math here. We're going in.
Yeah,
we're going in.
Time for some research.
All right. So we just checked it. It came out in 2005, which means it's 18 years old. It could finally buy a lotto ticket.
Wow.
And win that Powerball that's like 1.5 bill.
Very exciting.
But yeah, no, crazy. 18 years. Congrats on being an adult.
It's crazy to me to think that Midway Mania is only 3 years younger than Astro Blasters.
Yeah, that's super crazy.
Because I feel like I don't know, that it just feels wrong to me because I feel like Astro Blasters has been there forever at this point.
Yeah.
And I remember when Midway Mania opened.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
and it
crazy.
feels like not recent, but like so much more recent.
Yeah.
And it's crazy that the line is still always
It's always
so
crazy.
long.
Yeah, I know it's crazy.
And yet Astro Blasters, the line is not usually that long. So
Yeah, I guess it kind of depends, right? But the weird thing about Astro Blasters is it's on a different side than Star Tours. And I feel like if they were right next to each other, that would be an even bigger reason to just do both
it
of
all
them and then
just do one
do
big,
something
big
big there. But I mean, Star Tours has the store, so I guess that's a little bit of space.
oh yeah.
But yeah,
and it is a pretty big store.
It is a pretty big store. So yeah, I could see Astro Blasters going, but I don't. This I think I'm going to put out a little bit longer, just because I feel like more recently I've been seeing huge fans of Astro Blasters getting that high score, doing all this stuff, So I think that might be pushed off a little bit more. I guess maybe at the same time as Star Tours, and Star Tours might not be for 10 years or something. But
yeah. While we're on the note of Tomorrowland, because we're just talking about everything, what is even going on in the Captain EO theater?
I don't think anything right now.
It's literally just sitting there.
I could be wrong, but I don't think anything is going on.
That
You know, it'd be
needs
awesome. Oh my gosh, wait, get rid of Interventions in Captain EO. Keep Space Mountain, but do it so that from Captain EO to Interventions, that's like a huge loop, not loop, but like a huge open section for like Tron. So you have to walk under Tron to get to Space Mountain. So you're like walking under that big blue canopy. And then I think that'd be great.
Crazy.
That'd be so perfect.
Maybe.
But I mean, I do love Captain EO, but they're not even playing it right now on things. So
yeah, there's just so much that's like
Captain
just
EO is
sitting
awesome.
there, just like not being used.
Yeah. Oh, that's crazy.
Okay.
So yeah, I think that could in the future, but it might be a little bit. But thank you for that suggestion, Jordan the Swan.
Yes.
I guess she's bad at the ride too. Maybe.
Or just doesn't enjoy it.
Or just doesn't enjoy it.
Enjoy it.
It's a little slow. But next up, I've talked about this, I think, before, but I think the Grand Fiesta Tour and the Mexico Pavilion in Epcot could be changing.
That's on everyone's minds, I feel like. I mean, the Grand Fiesta Tour was really cute. I enjoyed it.
I loved it, yeah.
We went on it once while we were there, but it's just screaming for a...
Yeah, it is just screaming for a Coco.
Yes,
yeah.
It is. It needs to happen. I mean, I feel like they could do so much. I love the classic
characters, like with Donald.
Yeah.
But
it's like, it's just meant to be there. I mean,
it is, yeah.
It's a fairly short ride.
That's the only downfall.
Same thing like you were saying with Fantasyland ride. But I feel like they could still do a lot with it.
It would be better to have a short Coco ride, I think, than no Coco ride at all.
Yeah.
But the only thing is the line for a Coco ride is going to be so long, and I'm not sure if they're able to support a line and a wait that long.
Because there's a lot of other stuff in that area.
Yeah, you got the restaurant. Yeah.
Just the whole like market
kind
of area. Yeah. So it would be hard to kind of delegate where the line should go, I guess, unless they just sent it directly outside.
I was going to say, outside, or for a while, just do virtual queue. Mm-hmm. So you don't even need to, try to manage that line there. But I think, oh my gosh, to walk in there and you have like a little statue. Well, I guess you can't have a statue of Ernesto de la Cruz in there because that would be,
he's horrible.
He is the worst. But something in that little square in the plaza.
Miguel. It would just be Miguel.
Oh my gosh, yeah, Miguel. Oh my gosh. And then you can meet him there.
Mm-hmm.
And then,
that'd be so cute.
Yeah. And then go on the ride. I think that's perfect. I think they are already thinking about it. They're thinking about it for sure.
It would have to be. I mean, and that couldn't be that hard of a refurb, I wouldn't think.
Yeah, I think that'd be pretty easy.
I'm sure it would be quick. I'm kind of surprised they haven't yet with all the talk that I've heard about it.
Yeah.
I feel like it's just bound to happen.
Yeah, I agree.
We'll see.
Oh, your turn. Your turn.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So next we're going back to Disneyland.
Back to Tomorrowland.
Back to Tomorrowland again. Yikes. I guess everybody has their thoughts on Tomorrowland.
Yeah.
And specifically Jordan the Swan.
Yeah,
This
she
was
she
another Jordan the
wants to
Swan.
change everything. I don't even think we have this on our list, but
Yeah.
it is a controversial-ish ride. So yeah, do you want to hit us off?
In Jordan the Swan's words, the dang subs.
Dang subs.
So the Finding Nemo submarine voyage is what she's talking about. And yeah, I feel like I hear much more negative thoughts on this ride than positive. I mean, I think a lot of kids love it. And of course, I think we all can agree, like the aesthetic of that area is just beautiful.
Is perfect. The soundtrack of the ride is great.
Yes,
Yeah.
I love that too. Like it's a nice area to kind of like just be around. But like the ride itself, I don't think any adults would consider it like a favorite.
It's a little claustrophobic.
It's extremely claustrophobic.
A little stinky.
Yeah, it's just kind of freaks
sweaty
you out.
and like.
And it just
stuff,
extra freaks you out after all the submarine stuff over the last
oh my gosh.
couple months.
I wasn't even thinking about that, but yeah. I was more thinking about the sea, you know.
The sea?
Not the SEA, but the COVID.
Oh, yeah, that too.
By the way, if
that's
you ever
another
hear
one.
us like not say the word, it's because the YouTube algorithm doesn't really agree with anyone talking
with
about
anything being
so,
said about it. So
we're gonna call it the Big C. The big, what's that song in the Finding Nemo, Walt Disney World one? The Big Blue or something like that. The Big Blue Sea.
That's
what
agreed. That definitely kind of made it a less appealing.
Like, I don't want to be that close to people.
Yeah, and like place my chin, like where
Ew,
anyone could have just been doing the same thing. It's not like it gets wiped down after everyone.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's I don't know. It would be so sad.
It would be so sad without the water.
Yeah, because I mean, it was even there way back with the mermaids and stuff. Like that area has just always been there.
Yeah.
It would be so sad and weird to not have just like the water area. It's just so like pleasant.
It is so beautiful.
I don't know what they could do that would still keep the water aspect.
Yeah.
Because any ride that you keep that's a water ride would have to just be a submarine ride, I guess. I don't know. Unless it's some kind of other little like boat attraction, but I don't see that happening. So
yeah,
I don't know.
Tough. I mean,
I could see it going away, but it kind of would make me sad just for
the water aspect.
For the
I know.
water.
Yeah. So I'm not like adamant about them changing this, even though I never ride the ride. This one's a tricky one for me. It's kind of like Autopia.
Mm-hmm.
I think Autopia's space could be used for a lot better and bigger things, but I would be sad if it goes just because, you know, opening day attraction and then the subs, it's like the aesthetic. So yeah. I could see this going away. But yeah, it's tough. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm so like, this one's
like
hard
sentimental
to put a hard
think about
stop
too.
to it. Yeah. So next up, we had Mission Space. Now, this isn't like high up on the list. I don't think it's going to happen like very soon. But I know almost anyone who talks about this ride is just like, I almost threw up. It was the worst. It's a torture chamber.
Yeah.
And like, we didn't go on it for that reason.
I was very happy that we didn't. Because
I was ready to go on, but yeah.
It was like the end of the day that we had a fast pass for it, I think.
And we had drunk around the world and ate around the world. It was food and wine. So
and it was just extremely hot. I was like, I could imagine myself getting sick if we try and go on that. And our friends who were with us felt the same way. So it was just like, I think we're just going to skip it.
Yeah.
And I was okay with it. I mean, you know, to those who love it, that's awesome.
I don't think it's like, I'm sure some people love it, but yeah, I think it's a small percentage of people.
Being a huge favorite.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know what you could do because the ride system is so unique to it that I don't really know.
I'm sure they could figure something out. But
that's the only reason why I'm like, I'm not sure it would happen anytime super soon.
I kind of doubt
They'd
it.
probably have to just smash it and just
start from
build
scratch.
something new
Yeah.
there. Yeah. So I think this is more like further out, but I think at some point they could be like, I don't want to clean up people's messes.
right?
We're just gonna change it because I do believe they have like puke bags.
Oh my gosh.
In there, so just in case.
That's the fact that you would even like need that on a ride is kind of just like,
it's honestly kind of like the
It's a
Finding Nemo
deterrent.
subs, but in space because you're so claustrophobic and so close to.
yeah, no, thank you.
Yeah,
Thanks.
yeah.
I'm
Just
not
get rid of
about
it.
that.
Let's just get rid of it.
One day it could be gone.
Yeah. Okay, let's bring it back to DL
Back to
Disneyland,
Disneyland,
which
yep.
this is a ride that was changed at Disney World.
That's right.
Yeah,
it was.
Yeah.
I can't recall what it was changed into.
Poo.
Oh, that's right. Okay. So
Change into poo.
right. So we got a response from at Brit Street who said Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. And that's what we were alluding to earlier when we were talking about Pinocchio. So that's the only other one that I could see changing in Fantasyland. I agree. I kind of don't feel like it's gonna happen anytime soon because it's, it was an opening day attraction, and I feel like it's a very split ride.
Yeah, I think some people, I know there was a lot of people
it.
in Disney World that were like, oh my gosh, why are we getting they were sad that Mr. Toad's Wild Ride went away because it's so weird and has a lot of weird Disney classic feels.
Yeah. But it's not really a movie that many people know, and it's not, I don't know.
But at least it's a way. Yeah, that's the thing too. It's it's the only movie I feel like during the wartime era that has any representation in the parks.
True.
Well, no. Okay, sorry. Wartime era was also the Grand Fiesta Tour.
But in Disneyland.
In Disneyland.
At this point.
And it was an opening day attraction. I just think it's such a weird ride that I think if any ride were to get cut, I'd probably say Pinocchio first, this second.
Yeah.
Which seems weird to say, but I think since, Mr. Toad's was an opening day attraction, I think that has it going for it. But
in terms of
I wouldn't be super sad, I guess.
Yeah, if I could say which of those two that I would kick out sooner, it would probably be Mr. Toad's.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I feel like I choose to go on Pinocchio more.
I just don't want to go to hell.
Yeah.
It's hot in there, man.
It is hot, and it's already hot outside most of the time. And,
Which, by the way, last week, Pirates of the Polynesian asked which rides we would hate to get stuck on. And after we recorded, I was like, Mr. Toad's, of course. I would hate to get stuck on Mr.
Especially
Toad's.
in that specific spot.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah.
Get me out. I would bring my way out of that little restraint.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh. Okay,
that
so
would be awful.
if Pinocchio were to say, have a Tangled or Frozen attraction. Okay, wait. I would say Beauty and the Beast at Pinocchio. Mm-hmm. Because it's right next to Red Rose Tavern. What would you have at Mr. Toad if you could just pick out of Tangled, Frozen, something like that?
Are we just sticking to Princess?
I would say in Fantasyland.
Because both of those are non-princess rides. So it's Pinocchio and Mr. Toad.
That's true.
So it's would one become a princess ride and the other be something else?
Ooh, that's
kind of
actually
a favorite.
My thought, just because of the irony of it, is to put Frozen in the place where they used to have hell. That's kind of but I could see. Funny. I would rather have Frozen have a dedicated, its own ride. So I could see. Yeah, I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah. I could see that. I could see Beauty and the Beast and Frozen. I could see them just making it all. Although Peter Pan's not a princess ride, so that would be the only one.
Yeah, that's true.
And Alice isn't a princess either.
That's true.
So yeah, I could see princess rides being put there.
Okay.
I feel like that would make the most sense. I can't really. There's no other movie that I feel like sticks out that would be good.
I mean, I love Tangled, but she's a princess too, so
and there's a whole area, and not a ride, but there's a whole area that's dedicated to Tangled. So
yeah. In Fantasy Fair.
Yeah.
Which is halfy.
Which is,
Tangled.
yeah, it is mostly Tangled, but also like Maurice's Treats is technically
Beauty and the Beast, but then also Hunchback too. They have
Oh.
they have the little thing you spin.
Oh yeah,
And
that's
it's,
right.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I
it's
always
just kind of
think
like
of
a
that
little,
area as just being Tangled, but yeah, I guess there's a lot more to it.
yeah.
But anyways, yeah, back to the topic.
I'd be fine with anything.
Yeah.
There.
I would be okay with those being switched. It's, you know, it is what it is. I mean, I know it's a classic and
It's a fun
lot
ride.
of people do love it. And it would be weird to not have the little like toady car outside anymore. I know like our son always loves to go on that. And I know a lot of kids do, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
It could go.
Yeah, I agree. So next up, we actually didn't even think about this, but we could break this down in a couple different ways. Rox Lehman, she gave another one. She said, Goofy's Sky School. She said it's terrible and doesn't add anything to the park. It is a very, it was more of like a Paradise Pier kind of vibe, right? Where it was supposed to be kind of these very old, like Coney Island, right? Like fair type attraction. So it fit when it was back then, but now it just feels weird. It was Mulholland Madness. Yeah. Pretty much the same thing, just goofy.
Yeah.
But I would think with Disneyland Forward, because Disneyland Forward on the site, which is this proposal to, find ways to expand Disneyland outside of the boundaries that it currently has, they mentioned Toy Story Land. Now, I could see Pixar Pier going, and instead of Paradise Gardens Park, right? That extends down there. Instead of Paradise Gardens Park with Jumpin' Jellyfish, Goofy Sky School, Golden Zephyr, that they expand Pixar out a little bit. And I could see if Disneyland Forward goes through, you have not Goofy Sky School. Yeah, some more Toy Story elements in there, and maybe another Pixar attraction that goes all the way up to Ariel, but then Ariel doesn't fit in anywhere.
Yeah.
But I want them to keep Ariel. But pretty much everything
really
from like
hard.
Goofy Sky School through Jumpin' Jellyfish
But
through
then what's weird is
Golden Zephyr. Yeah, it's weird.
Midway Mania is Toy Story, and that's kind of weird.
And then it would be out. I would say don't build a Toy Story Land. Keep it Pixar Pier. But if you are able to expand it to Little Mermaid, I think we could get a Coco ride in Disneyland and I don't know, maybe one more ride, and then Pixar Pier would just kind of be a little more robust.
Yeah.
But the weird thing is Little Mermaid.
Yeah.
Little Mermaid, I love that ride, so I don't want it to go. Could it weirdly be in Grizzly Peak?
No, like from the beginning, Little Mermaid being there kind of made sense when it was
Paradise Pier?
Yes, when it was Paradise Pier. It made sense being there because it was just kind of like
Pier
nautical,
and
water themed, like kind of made sense. But at this point, it really doesn't. Little Mermaid should just be in Disneyland somewhere.
Yeah, that's never going to happen. They're not going to move that. I don't think they'll.
Nemo. That would have been perfect. That would have been such a good
and then it's
area for
Pixar.
it.
Oh my.
Wow. Just like.
Do you like the
switch
Nemo
'em.
ride from Walt Disney World, Epcot?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, that's crazy.
Just switch them.
Honestly, but then I love Ariel, but then bring Ariel to
Disneyland.
Disneyland in. Yeah.
And that area could almost still be considered Fantasyland.
Oh my gosh!
which she
Turn
would
the
make
subs.
sense in.
Keep the water feature. But I know, but you can't really build anything.
Yeah, I don't know how you would keep the
off.
water. I mean, you could build like a bridge to the ride and have some water aspect. I don't know.
Yeah,
it would
the
be
layout's
tricky.
weird, but
My point is that area could totally be the Little Mermaid ride, and it would make more sense than having it be with all the Pixar stuff.
yeah,
in California Adventure.
that's so tricky. But I think I think most of Paradise Gardens Park, like Goofy Sky School and Golden Zephyr and all that stuff, could be replaced if Disneyland Forward goes through, because then they could expand out a little bit. So yeah, I think that one we could hear news about in the next like 5 years. But
yeah, we went off on a tangent.
We
there.
went
I
off on a tangent. That was
I
crazy.
just realized
we only
we started at Goofy Sky School, and then we got to like how Ariel should be.
Pixar and Ariel. Yeah, that's crazy.
I got crazy. But
do you want to do? Then we have 2 more.
Yeah,
We're gonna go back over
more.
to Disney World.
Yeah, and this I feel like there has been talk
yeah.
about, but there must just be like a lot of licensing stuff
Yeah,
or something
yeah.
because we're talking about Rock and Roller Coaster, and it's a great ride. I loved it. It's very high energy, very fun coaster.
Yeah.
I love it, but I know that there's been a lot of talk about not even necessarily like switching the ride, but I guess just switching out the theme, basically switching out the band.
Yeah.
So rather than Aerosmith, it could be another band. And we've
there's some ideas that have floated around in the past. And so, yeah, these were some that other people brought up, not even us, but we were thinking, Queen, Powerline.
Queen fan. I would love it if Queen was the replacement.
Yeah,
personally.
that would be awesome if Queen was
so
the
fun.
They would have to get a really good song in there, which would be super fun.
There's so many that they could pick from too.
Yeah. I don't see them.
that.
Another suggestion that other people have said has been Powerline. I don't think they're going to introduce Disney IP in there. I don't think they would do like Powerline. I think they would stick to a rock and roll band that, everyone knows. Would it be a thing where they do different bands? I think with licensing that might be really tough.
Yeah.
But Queen would be awesome. Would they do a newer band? Would they not go with an older band? And if it was a newer band, what would they choose? Because I don't think any band is really as classic as
like if you want like the classic rock feel.
And I think it has to be a classic rock feel.
I don't think there's many new bands that would really fit that vibe. I would have to think on it for a little bit.
I just wish that it would just be a classic rock coaster and they could switch it out just like they do with Cosmic Rewind. So then you're like, which classic rock song am I going to get?
A different band each time you go on it and it's the full ride, or throughout the ride there's different bands.
Oh my God. Imagine like a different genres.
Compilation.
So you get like a rock and roll, you get like a classic hip hop, you get like a, that'd be cool. Like fun. Doing a genre bending ride.
That would actually be
But
really
then it's
cool.
called Rock and Roller Coaster. So it could,
true.
rock.
But it could be a mix of old and new rock.
Yeah. So you can kind of span the generations.
Decades.
Yeah, the decades. So you get some like a 60s band one time, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s.
Yeah.
So you're like, am I going to get Blink-182 or Elvis Presley? Like, what am I going to get?
Elvis, I don't know about that.
Yeah, maybe. You're nothing but. You're just like, no,
like
it's not as energetic.
It's like coaster fitting, but
yeah. Oh man, but that would be that's a cool idea to do like you go through a time loop and you go visit different rock through the ages. Oh my God. This is
Journey.
okay. This is turning
Journey.
it. Yeah. Oh, I mean, Journey is the best. This is
so good.
turning into such a fun episode.
Yeah.
Just like Imagineering on top of all this stuff.
The ideas for this ride, I feel like, just became limitless.
Yeah, this is great. This is so good.
I mean, who knows when or if they actually are planning on changing it. I feel like it's kind of inevitable, but I don't know when. And who knows what they have up their sleeve about it, what the actual plan is.
I could say in the next, I keep saying 5 to 10 years. I feel like that's very safe to say, but I could
see within 5 years for that one.
Yeah,
probably.
I like that. That's so awesome. So that brings us to our last one here, which is The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh in Disneyland. So this was actually also agreed upon by @Fam Travel Folio. And I think why we wanted to put this last on our list is that it's the most imminent, right? We got Tiana's Bio Adventure coming. And that just makes sense. We've talked about this before.
It's just
that just makes sense
about that area.
The layout. Yeah. Where that where the Splash Mountain being in Critter Country now is kind of weird because her restaurant's in New Orleans Square, which is getting ready to be opened, which is awesome. Or it's in the works, and it's getting completed,
and then
which
her
is great.
ride is just
Going to be in a
adjacent.
different land. Like that seems weird. So I think I think that's going to be the first time in a while that they expand a land if they do that. But I feel like it makes sense in New Orleans Square.
Yeah.
I think they're still going to call it New Orleans Square just because it's such a nostalgic name. I don't think they could change it to anything else, even though it's expanding. But what do we do with Pooh? And I think that
we've talked about this.
Yeah, I think we land on.
I don't think that they could get rid of the ride. There's too many fans of it.
Of Pooh, yeah. What? No,
I love
Winnie.
to just say Pooh as much as possible, don't you?
Might as well, while we're talking about it.
Yes, it's, maybe one of the less popular rides. Like the line's always short and stuff, but it's such a favorite.
Winnie the Pooh is just such a classic character.
Yes.
You can't just throw him
I don't
out.
think I could see him being gone from Disneyland. And I love that ride personally.
Oh, it's so good.
It's always so just kind of like chill and like kind of cools you off when you go through it. And it's just, I love it.
It's cute.
It's super cute. And I think, what we land on is that mixed with his sweet shop next to it
And Hungry Bear.
would just become Critter Country.
Or like, Pooh Corner.
Pooh Corner.
Yeah. And then,
So I guess Critter Country would just be a thing of the past, which is sad to think about.
Yeah,
but it
'cause
would
they
make
let-
sense if everything in that vicinity just was Winnie the Pooh themed.
I was waiting for just everything in that corner would just be Pooh. But you said the Winnie. So I don't think the ride will actually change.
It would be
they'll keep
weird if the
Pooh.
ride went away because
What?
you're killing me.
No, that one was on accident.
Of course. Yeah, I'm sure it was. Because now that Tiana is gonna be where Splash was,
Yeah.
what else would they change the Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh to?
Yeah. You know what I say?
Because then you'd
This would be
have to
great.
change
This would be-
everything else in that vicinity.
Yeah.
The store and the restaurant.
Exactly. And this is what I say. We do Pooh Corner, but we also try to find a way to, maybe this is downstairs under Hungry Bear or something like that. We also find a way to add a kids play structure there. So then it's like
Cute.
Pooh Corner. It's all about Winnie the Pooh, but there's also like a hands-on activity center for kids because the only real place that we have now is Toontown after it's been kind of changed. But we went to Universal and there was so many areas for the kids
many
to
play structures for
run around and have some fun, on play structures. So let's put a little 100-acre wood play structure.
That would be
in
adorable.
There. That'd be cute. Pooh Corner. That's the place to do one ride, one restaurant,
Yeah.
one store, and a play area.
like kid
Bam.
area. And
That's
my brain just
That's amazing.
isn't like comprehending what is like just beyond Hungry Bear, because I know it leads towards Star Wars land, towards Galaxy's Edge. But
it's
there's
a long walkway. It's a long walkway.
Yeah, isn't there
Build
a
something
lot?
on the left as you're walking towards Galaxy's Edge. Build
play
something on the
structure would be
left
perfect
that you
there.
could just do something right there, and then
Because
then
it's
you
just
walk
like
to Galaxy's
a wall, right? Isn't it just kind of?
Edge. No, it's like I
can't
think it's
what it looks
open.
like.
I think it's open into like some plants on the left. But
Yeah, like trees. and
let's just
stuff.
build something there. Bam. Why aren't we Imagineers?
Yeah.
Come on, hire us.
I mean, this is.
No, I'm just
this
kidding.
is all
I think
just
we might be a little too
self-explanatory.
high on ourselves, but honestly, that's a great idea.
It is a great
In our
idea.
mind.
It would be perfect. And with the expansion of New Orleans Square that is inevitable, that just makes perfect sense.
Yeah. So if you are listening and you have an Imagineering friend,
Let them know our ideas.
refer us to work for them. I know they'll probably get a referral bonus, maybe.
Yeah,
And then so it's a
true.
win-win. No, just kidding. But oh my gosh, this has been such a
fun.
fun episode talking about what things could be rethemed because we know that nothing is really safe.
Yeah.
Anything could really be rethemed. Thank you to our listeners for giving those awesome suggestions. Thank you to everyone who celebrated our 100th episode last week. We also, if you heard, we opened up our store. Our merch site is live. You're
Yep,
wearing
I'm
one of the
wearing one of the
Happiest Hour
shirts.
shirts. I forgot to change, so I'm still wearing a Disney shirt, but it's not that
We
one.
live in Disney shirts,
we
guys.
do. We really do. But check out our store. It's really fun.
It is fun. There's some
It helps out our show.
good shirts, some fun designs, and
Yeah.
some sweaters for the semi upcoming cooler season.
Yeah.
So
Maybe we'll
check
do a
them out.
Halloween design for some people.
Ooh,
That'd be cool.
I like that.
That'd be fun.
But yeah, let us know what ideas you agreed with that we had.
Yes. And if you don't have, if it was something outside of our list, let us know as well too.
Yeah, if you missed
great.
our question or you just want to get involved now, let's chat some more because there's a lot that could be inevitably changing in Disney, I feel like, in the next couple of years.
Yeah, definitely. Well, thank you so much for listening to our 101st episode. We love you all. Your support helps our show out so much. And so we can't thank you enough. And we will see you guys next week.
Bye, guys.
See ya.
See you then.